Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and the 5th day of my celebration creative burst. I'm Leslie Watkins and you can see I have these gorgeous dahlias on my table here today. Look at those colors, aren't they incredible? I just love this time of year. And these color combinations make me so happy. They're just so kind of wild and rich, and then you've got all these kind of wonderful subtle russet tones as well. I find it very inspirational. So that's what we're going to paint today. I hope you're well. So the 5th day of the creative burst for celebration. This is the last day. It's also the last day of celebration. And if you've been following along, you know what that means. But very quickly, it's a special event where you can get free paper crafting products for every $50 or $100 that you spend on fine quality paper crafting materials from Stampin' Up. And during the 5 days of the creative burst, I featured a different free product that you could get with your purchases. Now today I'm going to be using the Delicate Dahlias stamp set, and this is a $100 purchase free gift. So let me, I know it's a little confusing, I'll try to make it more clear. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to move my beautiful bouquet out of the way. So here is the Delicate Dahlia stamp set. Okay, so if you were to spend $100 on fine quality paper crafting materials, you would then qualify to be able to get this for free. And this is a wonderful set. It's kind of interesting. It's sort of a hybrid. So you've got these sort of photographic distinctive stamps here, and then you have these linear matching stamps here. So you can either use them separately, or you can combine them together, or mix them up however you like. Today I'm going to be just using the outline stamps because I'm going to be showing you how you can paint with ink using an outline and your liquid reinkers. So the things that I have my water painters. This is a collection of watercolor brushes that have the water in the handle. They come in 3 different sizes to a pack. I have a spritzer. Okay, these are very inexpensive. You can get 2 of these for $3. I have my card base, and what I've done is I've put my reinkers into this little mini palette, and I'm keeping it in this case here, and that just keeps them nice and clean, and gives me a little surface to mix my colors on. So I'll just put this off to the side, and the colors that I'm just using a red, yellow, and blue. Okay, that's all you need. It doesn't matter which ones you pick. Just pick a nice red, yellow, and blue. And I did actually get out my rich raspberry just in case. And the reason why I have that out is because so many of these flowers, and I'll show you again, you see that? That looks like the rich raspberry to me. And so I thought what I would do is for my card base, I would use a rich raspberry mat to help pull it all together. And maybe if I decide to add a sentiment, I could also stamp that in the rich raspberry. So this is very vanilla cardstock. It's kind of a creamy vanilla color. And the card itself is 5.5 by 4.25. And let's see what this measures. I think it's 3.5 by 4.5. So this is just a tiny little picture, and that's all we need for our card. I'm going to get my stamp pad out. Let me zoom you back out a little bit so you can see better. I'm just going to grab one of the water painters and move this over. I think you'll be able to see what I'm doing now. Okay, let me just check that we're live. And yes, it looks, I think. No, hold on a second. Let me just see where everybody is here. There we go. I think I've got it now. Okay, I see Lawana and Kelly. Good morning. Beautiful day in Washington State. I love that we're 3,000 miles away from each other and able to share our coffee and creativity together. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I think we can get started. So I have already mounted up my stamps. These are photopolymer stamps, meaning that you can see through them, which makes it really easy to be able to see exactly where you're placing your image. And I'm just going to use my Sahara Sand ink, and I'm going to stamp off. And what that means is I'm going to be, well, I'll show you what it means. Easier to show you than to explain. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp. All right, and then I'm going to stamp off once on my scrap paper to take off the excess ink so it's not so dark, and then stamp on my paper. So let's just see how that comes out. That's fine, okay? It's very faint, but that's all right. I don't need to have a strong outline here. I just want something to give me an idea of where the image is so that I can follow it. Now I have this little flower, and I believe this is a dahlia also, and I'm just going to tuck that in there. And I have my leaves. Put a leaf here. Another one over here. Maybe one more in this corner. And then I'll just put a little flower there. And then I'll add a little bit more there. Okay, so there is my design, and you can see it's an all over pattern, and that's exactly what I'm looking for here. I'm going to put this away, clear the area here, and I'm going to get a paper towel. So there's my paper towels, and then I'm just going to zoom you in so you can get a better look. Okay, sip of coffee for energy. And I'm going to use my spritzer to give this a very, very light misting. And this is going to cause some of the ink to run because this is the water-based ink. And let's see, this over here. And I'm going to add a drop of that rich raspberry off to the side so that I can get a little bit of that color in my painting. All right, so I'm going to start by putting a little bit of my yellow tone in the center of some of these flowers. And I'm going to go ahead and mix my yellow and blue together to get a nice green. For my leaves. There we go. And I think for this great big flower, I'm just going to add a few dashes of the rich raspberry. And this, of course, is very watered down. There we go. Now, if I look at my bouquet, I've got some kind of bright, I think I need a little more of my yellow. So let me just put a couple of drops in my palette. Just 2 or 3 drops, it's all you need, hardly anything. These inks are extremely concentrated. And I think I'll put a yellow flower over on the side here. It's a little bit darker than I want it, so I'll just add a little more water. Get it a little bit lighter. And put some over here. And let's see. There's a flower in the bouquet that has that sort of coppery russet look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and mix my red and my yellow together and see if I can capture that. That really helps to give it that autumnal feel. There we go. And let's see, what else do I have here? I've got some little kind of violet, lavender looking flowers. So I'll mix a little of my red and, excuse me, clearly I need more coffee. Okay. That's what happens when you don't talk to anybody all morning. All right, so I'm mixing up a little bit of a kind of a lavender tone. Oh my goodness, got a frog in my throat. So this is it's a little darker than I want it to be, so I'm just going to add a little more water. And I'm going to go back to my rich raspberry over in this corner. And what shall we do with this last one? I think let's try more yellow. Okay, so there is my overall color scheme. Now I'm just going to add a few more touches. I'm starting with the yellow and blue to make my green. Just add a little more ink. There we go. So I also want to remind you that I have a very special offer going on right now, and I'm calling it the Flash Class. And the reason I'm calling it the Flash Class is because you have only till midnight tonight to register for this introduction to painting with watercolor and water-based inks. And the way you can qualify to get the free Flash class is by spending $100 or more, and I'll have the link below so that you can go to my online store and select whatever it is that you're interested in getting. And when you use the host code, you will be on the list to attend a live Zoom Flash class, followed by a question and answer. And I posted a announcement earlier today. So if you want to just check the Facebook page at Dandelion Cottage Design, you'll be able to find all the information and the links so that you can go ahead and take advantage. This is something that I don't ever do. This is the first time I'm offering one of my painting classes for free. So if you think that this is something that you'd like to learn more about, if you think you might like to improve your painting skills, whether it's for note cards or to hang on the wall, I think that you're going to really enjoy this class. So go ahead and do that. And if you have any questions, just send me an email or a message, direct message me, and I will do my best to answer any questions you may have or help you placing your order. All right, so this is coming along, and I'm going to start increasing some of these colors now for my little accents. And I think you can see how these water-based inks give you a lovely watercolor effect, and they don't behave exactly the way watercolors do, but you can get a very beautiful, soft, flowing effect using this technique. And what one of the things that's particularly nice about the inks is that they have the ability to dry very quickly. So you can move around your painting in a relatively short time without disturbing the layers, because they have such fine particles. The pigment particles are absorbed into the paper rather than sitting on the surface, and so they act like a kind of a stain, which is an interesting attribute that you can use to your advantage. All right, so I think we're just about done. I want to put a couple more touches on this flower. And again, I'm going back into my red and my yellow and getting this beautiful kind of russet tone, which I love so much, this kind of coppery. I seem to be really attracted to the peachy and coppery kind of colors. There's a dahlia that I especially love. It's called Cafe au lait, and it's a kind of a peachy, creamy color that I think works so nicely in bouquets. All right, so let's mount up our card. If you haven't subscribed to Dandelion Cottage's newsletter notes from Dandelion Cottage, please go to my website and subscribe, because that's how I'm able to let you know about all of the specials and the workshops and classes that I have coming right up. And there will be a October edition of notes coming right up. And in it, I'm going to have a lot of holiday specials and all sorts of interesting stuff. So please subscribe to Notes, and you will get that in your mailbox. All right, so there is my mat. Now this is still pretty damp, so I'm not going to move this too much. I'm just going to kind of place it on the surface like so. Give this a chance to dry, but I think you can see what it's going to look like. And let me see, do I have okay, I've got a little scrap piece of paper here. I'm going to take, so this is a scrap of Very Vanilla, and I'm using my Rich Razzleberry, and I'm going to add a little sentiment here. It's a little dark. I'm going to stamp that off and do it again. I don't want it quite that dark. There we go. It's better. And I'm just going to give that a little snip. And if I want, I can flag the end. Just like so. Do it on this end as well. There we go. So there is my watercolor technique of the Delicate Dahlia stamp set, using just the water-based inks that are used to re-ink the stamp pads, and you can see you can get a very lovely effect. I want to thank you all so much for joining me during this celebration burst. Please make sure that you are subscribed so that you can stay notified of all the stuff I have coming right up. It's actually going to be quite a few listings. And go to my website at Dandelion Cottage Design, where you can find the information on the Design Journal workshop, the counting sheet board game, and much more. So today is also the very last day to register for all those things. So a lot going on today. Stay well, stay healthy, and stay creative. and I will see you next time. I'll be back on Saturday for Paper Crafting Saturday right here at 12 noon.